Want to be a lead magnet? It starts with using better words on your website. Hey, I'm Liz Teresa, and I'm here to tell you that improving your copy is the absolute easiest, quickest, and most cost-effective way to get more clients and cash rolling in. Go to freecopyvideo.com to download my free copywriting training. See you there. Hello, and welcome to the Liz on Biz podcast, where the guests are barely prepped and I'm barely ready. I'm your host, Liz Teresa, and I help you launch and build online businesses you love. This podcast is all about entrepreneurship, and I hope you like it.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Liz on Biz. Here with me today is Annie P. Ruggles, and she is the founder of the Non-Sleazy Sales Academy. And I'm so excited to have her on my show today because I got to do her show, and it's so freaking good. Annie, welcome to the show.
Liz, I'm so excited to be here.
You are just like, you have this amazingly wonderful personality. And
Aww.
I love your approach to business, but tell everybody a little bit about what you do.
So I help wonderful people sell wonderfully instead of like their sleazy, nasty competitors.
Because, most people, as we discussed before we started recording, we had a very serious scientific conversation about smell-o-vision and how you can't smell you can't smell over Zoom. So like sometimes you meet people on the internet and they're gross and your competitors are gross. There's a showering pandemic, let alone the real pandemic where people don't use soap and they smell. And so you're trying to help your clients smell better so they can sell better.
Ooh, yes. I'm trying to help you emotionally smell better so you can fiscally sell better. Sure. Let's go with that, Liz. Let's do it.
You're right. And you say this thing, don't let sales avoidance be the death of your dream.
Yes.
Because there's like this, people get so scared to be salesy, but like you're a business. Like what? So how do you help people? Is it kind of a mindset thing?
So it's mindset and strategy, and they have to happen simultaneously, but they have to both happen in that we can't teach someone to sell brilliantly if they're still like, ew, sales, I don't want to be a manipulative jerk, which is totally true. I don't want you to be a manipulative jerk. Heck no. But if we're not willing to say, hey, maybe I've been incorrect about my assumptions of what selling will require of me, then no amount of strategy is going to fix that, right? But once we get past the mindset stuff, we start to see truly how people have been taught to sell badly, or people have been taught that sales in and of itself is bad. And we look at the way that we were taught to sell as kids, going door to door, selling candy or wrapping paper, or in corporate environments where it's like, pick up the phone, get savagely rejected, hang up, pick up the phone again, right? And we've internalized all of those things, but none of those strategies are actually required behavior. None of the arm twisting, none of the gimmicks, none of the overpromising is really what is being asked of you. But we have to understand that first before I can teach you something better.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And when you think about even like the messaging that we get in society about what it means to sell something, all you think about are the people that sell cars at dealerships. That's all or the door-to-door people. And you're like, God, I don't want to be them. And what you're saying is, of course, true that you don't have to be them. But that's probably what births the mindset that's all infected, right? Where you're just like, you like, that's what you assume it's going to be like. Yeah. Who wants to buy a website? Do you want to buy a website? Do you want to buy a website? Like, I don't do that. Like no one that doesn't have, like, if you want to buy a website, you can send me an email, but like, that's like, people need to know I sell them in order for that to even happen. And I think, you know what it is? People get, I would love for you to speak to that, but is it like people get so weird? People are so sales avoidant because of all those society cartoony images, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that sometimes your own audience might not even know what you sell. They might just like you.
Yes, exactly. And no like trust is a trap. It's a correct trap, but it's a trap in that it's incomplete, right? And it's hard for people who are in businesses where they are the face, the voice, the heart of their brand, because know, like, trust is perfect for us. Right? I'm putting myself out there as myself every day. I'm showing up every day. I'm making sure that I am visible. That's the known part, right? But I'm showing up as me and I'm trying to be authentic and transparent and do all of my weird, quirky stuff. And okay, that's the like factor. And I am dripping with integrity and ethics. And I talk about them all the time. And I want people to know that, you know, their money and their brains are in good hands with me. That's the trust part. And so if I accomplish those three things, according to the formula, I should be a bajillionaire. But what that makes me is popular. What that doesn't make me is profitable. And the reason for that is there's a step missing called asking for the sale, right? Here's the buy button. Please click it. Here's what it costs. And here's how I can help you. If we're not doing that, we are over marketing. And over marketing is not the same thing as selling.
Wow. I like you so much.
I like you too.
Damn. You're like that. You just Big Bang Theory, like, know, and trust. You just were like,
Boom.
right? Yeah, it boomed. Because you were like, guys, it's like, no, trust, plus a heaping dose of asking people to pay you things, like a buy button or a booking link or something.
Otherwise,
you need
we're
something.
just being big old teases, Liz. We're just teasing them about the possibility of what we offer.
Well, and I think what you just said, the teasing thing, right? That indicates that what you offer is of value. And I think people like forget that they're like, well, yeah, it could make you a website and it could make you more money. I'm just saying websites because I make those, but I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I could do that. But I don't know, I'll just talk about it instead of actually do it. Like, that is so teasy. And when you remember you're offering a thing of value, like, doesn't that make it like a disservice to not sell?
Oh, for the love of all that is beautiful in this world, it is a total disservice. And the sad thing about that is that most of the people that I talk to that have this sales avoidance wake up every day with the song in their heart to serve. If you ask them what their why is, they say, I want to help people. I want to share this gift of mine. I want to get myself out there so that other people have an easier road than I did. Awesome. Amazing, fantastic. Let's do that. But if you're not including yourself in that success by asking and receiving, then what you're doing is basically martyring yourself until you burn out or die.
Yeah. And that's so easy to do. Burning out and dying. It's so easy to do. Cause especially when you said over marketing earlier, I related to that in the way that I'm like, man, sometimes if we all have over market at some point where we're and then then you're like, that's when you hate social media, but it's because you're never asking for the sale. You're just marketing.
You're just marketing. The way that I rant about this is about, I call it the chocolate cake rant. And basically, this is the chocolate cake rant so that people can get this. All right.
Yeah.
So Liz, you absolutely loved your grandmother's chocolate cake. You were like, oh, man, I miss my grandma every day. I love her legacy. But the thing I miss the most was her chocolate cake. My grandma made the best chocolate cake. So you fight all your cousins and all your cousins say, okay, Liz, okay, you can start to sell the chocolate cake. You can make a restaurant that just sells the chocolate cake. And you're like, yes, I win. And so what do? You go to every single grocery store you can find to find just the right ingredients for this chocolate cake. And then you get social media accounts. You got a TikTok for the cake. You got an Instagram for the cake. It has its own account, not even your account. It has its own account. You are putting up billboards that say, I am about to unleash upon the world the single greatest chocolate cake in the world. You're taking reaction videos. You're taking backseat things. You're doing reels. You're going nuts on this chocolate cake. And then the day finally comes. You've perfected it. You're ready. So you start sending your email sequences. Come, experience the cake. Experience the cake. People are foaming at the mouth to experience the cake. You tell them where to go. They buy tickets. They lose their minds. They're down the block. They're waiting. They're ravenous. They're so excited. You're playing songs about cake. You're playing the band Cake. You are pumping cake smell through the vents. It is all the way down the block. And then finally you let people in. It's shoulder to shoulder in a pandemic. Gross, but whatever. We're doing it anyway. Everybody wants this cake. And then you play this fanfare and the cake finally comes out and it's the size of a Hostess cupcake and it's in a locked glass box. You set it on the counter. You say, now you've experienced the cake, and you leave. They can all see it. They can all smell it. None of them can touch it. None of them can eat it.
This is like a horror movie. It's like Saw, but with cake.
With cake. It's torture. It's torture. And that's the thing, is that is what we do. It sounds so ridiculous when I draw it out like that. Saw of cake horror movie. But this is what we do when we say, hey, subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Hey, I can help you. Hey, something different is possible for you. Your website can be great. You can sell beautifully, and never say, and I'd love to show you how. Let's do this together. Please hire me. Please trust me. Please take my hand and we'll do this together. If we're not doing that, then all we're doing is dangling a beautiful, great smelling cake behind glass.
Whoa. Two things. One, I'm so salivating about cake because cake is great. My grandma actually made incredible pizza that I'm Italian, right? So it was so good. You could eat it out of the fridge and you wanted to.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cold actual pizza, Italian to Italian.
Yeah.
Pizza. It's a game changer.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I just if I could make that, damn, I could control the world. I could probably cure Corona if I could figure out how to make that pizza. All right. So I'm hungry, but I'm also really mind blown because I'm I think that we all have cake in a glass in our business.
Yeah.
In some regard, we definitely, I think as entrepreneurial culture, we are over marketing because there's social media marketers, and there's email marketers, and and I'm a marketing expert, I'm a branding expert, and you can spend so much time inside your business, right?
Oh yeah. And here's the thing. I was a marketing and branding person too. I think every single dime that you spend on marketing, on branding, on all of the things, I think it's all totally worth it as long as in the 25th mile of the marathon, you don't decide to go out for brunch. Right?
I agree. Yeah.
You are right freaking there. You have invested so much of yourself, not just money, time, energy, faith, everything. And then you're like, okay, but now that I put it out there, people are just going to pick it up and run. No, even the sample ladies at Costco have to be like, would you like some of this quesadilla? If they have to sell quesadilla samples, so do you, babe. So
yeah.
And none of this is said with judgment. I want to make this super clear, Liz, for your listeners. I was the most sales avoidant person on the earth. That's how I can speak to it. I was there. But I realized when I was looking at my marketing and branding clients, none of them were making any money. And they were brilliant and they were doing the work. Why? They weren't asking.
You guys.
What? Neither was I.
Whoa. Well, and I mean, I can tell you for sure, I know I don't ask enough. I know that. And then I think, you know why? I think I'm having a little aha because of something that you said.
Boom.
Okay. Right. So I don't ask enough. And I have a money belief that if I sell too many things, that I won't have time to do all the things that I sell, which actually means that I should have some type of productized thing to sell, not just services or a membership. And it's funny because I'm on the brink of launching a membership. This is a real thing. I even wrote the sales copy. I just haven't published the sales page. So this is my aha to say, man, if I had that, then I wouldn't ever hit my head on the ceiling. And that money belief of it has to be time for money could go bye-bye. And so I just caught myself doing that as you were talking. And I'm like, you just changed my brain. And then I think about your Non-Sleazy Sales Academy. So Annie, so that's your membership. And is
Yes,
that that's your primary business model is your membership, right?
Yeah, I have the Starbucks secret menu, as I call it, which is based in my old habit of copywriting or I was a copywriter for a long time. I love writing sales pages. It's like my favorite freaking thing in the world. But to your previous point, Liz, I can't write everybody's sales page. I don't have clones of myself, right? So I have to do something one to many in order to change it up, in order to be able to serve more, and also to have time to do things like, shower, sleep, play with my dog, right? Whatever that
Yeah.
may be. But yeah, my academy runs as a membership so that I can combine curriculum, which is so core, right? That's the strategy piece we talked about at the very beginning. And then also I can show up and teach live so that people get personal stuff done. So people are moving that needle every single week that they show up. Because like I said, I teach weekly, and that helps with the mindset stuff that we mentioned before. But also, it says it's not theory anymore if you're actively handheld while doing it. And so that's one of the things that I really love about offering a membership as opposed to just the course.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's the live thing, right? It's the idea of it being live, because I think the problem with courses is that people buy them and then don't take them.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yeah. And I mean, who wants to do work? That's one of the problems with a course. I mean, like, and I sell a course. So I'm telling you, you're signing up to do something.
Right.
Whereas it's like a membership, I'm here to connect. I'm here to like listen and chill with other people, maybe.
And that's part of it. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be the main part. Like lone wolves can get stuff out of memberships too, but you're totally right. It's one thing. And I do this constantly. If I buy a fiction book in hardcover and then it sits on my, to be read shelf for a year, that's okay. That's a thriller that I bought to read the next time I'm in the mood for something to make me go, ah! Right? But a course shouldn't be like that. Something that we're doing for our business is meant to be used. And so many times people sit there and go, oh yeah, didn't I already buy that thing? Oh no, I guess I didn't. I'll go buy something else. And in my work fam, we call that info crack, right?
Yeah.
Where we're just buying and buying and buying, and we don't even know what we have. One of the things I just sent for a freebie for a while, which now I feel like I should revive, is literally an info crack inventory where you go through all the stuff you've already paid for.
Yeah.
And put all your logins and all the goals and all the things so that oh, wait, I bought this thing 3 years ago. I still have access. I really splurged then. I was sure that I wanted it. I never picked it up. Maybe now's the time to crack it open.
Well, like I think about the Amy Porterfield Profits Academy or whatever it is, but like that's like you pay like $2,800, $3,000. But like, I bet that there's a lot of people because it's big. I mean, I haven't bought it.
It's meaty. It's meaty. I have many clients that have gone through that program.
Yeah. And then but then, there's probably a bunch that like, they're too like they never get to it because they're so daunting.
Mm-mm. No. And you know what? As a course provider, that doesn't feel great. And you know that you can't necessarily take it personally because this is what we all do. But especially if someone is paying in payments and you can go on to something like Kajabi, Amy Porterfield and I both use Kajabi. If you go in and you can see, okay, these people aren't really taking advantage. But then the next day you go in and it's like so-and-so sent you their monthly membership payment or their installment payment for your course. You're like, wow, I'm so glad I'm getting paid for nothing. It feels terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also at the same point, you as provider, one of the things that I did back in my days of chronic over delivering is if I got someone to say, yes, I'm ready, I would take them practically by the hair and I would drag them every step of the way so that they made gains, but I was depleted and exhausted because I didn't have boundaries in what I was offering them. So it sucks and it hurts when people don't take advantage of your stuff. But also at the same point, I've had to look within myself and go, but hold on. If they're not rising to the occasion of what they promised themselves, that's not on me. I am only able to rise to the occasion of serving people that show up.
It's funny you say that. I had a coach and she said something to me that was kind of similar. She said, you can't take responsibility for client outcomes, positive or negative, because people are going to do what people are going to do. And if they thank you, and it's a good thing, take it if you want. But like when you can give somebody all the tools. And if they're not going to take the action or follow through, that's them not taking the action and following through on all the things you're begging them to do.
Well, let's go back to chocolate cake. Let's say that the scenario ends differently. I told everybody to come and experience the chocolate cake. They come in the door and I'm giving away massive full-size samples of the cake. And I hand it to someone and they say, oh, no, thanks. I'm more of a pie person. And they set it back down. Is that on me?
Oh, God, no. Also, they walked into a cake store. What are they thinking? But
right, but we do that all the time.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
I'm going to take this course on TikTok. I don't want to be on freaking TikTok. No offense to anybody who is, but I own TikTok info crack that I'm never going to use because I really don't actually have any interest in being there. TikTok is a should for me. It's not a get to. It's not a want to.
So like when you did your own info crack inventory, were you like blown away at all? Like, did you have any moments where you were like, I spent $6,000 on things I never used? Or like, what were some takeaways that happened?
Number one, like never. It used to have a column in it for value, and then I tallied it. I took that out because I was like, no one should ever have to look in the face of how much money they've spent on info crack. My bookkeeper and accountant will disagree and be like, Annie, no, that is critically important info. But I wish I could have remained blissfully ignorant of that. I think one of the things that I saw was when I was buying things based on shoulds, they didn't get opened or at least really engaged with. And on the flip side of that, the pattern that I noticed is on the stuff that I really, really loved and sank my teeth into, the second I would get to a strategy that I was like, oh, cool, let's go try this. It would almost be like squirrel, shiny, right? So I would go and I would do that thing and I'd get great results and then I'd forget about the rest of the program. Which is wild because I just got good results. So that was the fun part about doing the inventory of being like, wait a minute. The last 2 strategies I tried for this program were super successful for me. There's 5 more sitting right here I haven't even seen yet.
So then it's good though, because in a way then you're like, so then if I want to watch it, I know that this one was good and I can go back to this one.
Yep.
So maybe you need to revive this freebie because everybody should do this.
I'll revive it.
I think you should. Yeah. Cause I'm like, I will say I'm better at not buying courses like that I know I won't do because I know I just know me. So like I'm way better. Like I'm in a membership now and I've been wanting to introduce you to this person because like I'm like, I know you'd like her. Because you guys just feel like you'd like each other, but her name is Liz Wilcox. Do you know her?
I just listened to your episode with Liz Wicked Wilcox.
Okay. And I was going to tell her to meet you and I don't know what happened. I didn't do it. And then but like, you guys are like, you're both so fun. And like her branding, I feel like because your branding is so fun, you'd be obsessed with her branding too. Like it's fun.
Well, I loved her episode of Liz on Biz. So there's a start.
Yeah. And she's in her membership is like, so I'm in her membership and I actually like pay attention, but I think it's because like, if I'm in a membership, I really try, but like, if I'm not actively, because they're active and there's stuff that happens, but like, if I'm in a course and they're like, do this, I'm like, it's like just telling me to read the encyclopedia for fun. Like, it's so hard to get me to do it. I've only successfully done one. I only did the Copy Cure by Marie Forleo, but I'm a copywriter. So of course I would do that because it sounds fun.
Right. Oh, totally. Like,
right.
What program? There are some programs too that like you take that are in your lane of expertise, but you just take them because they sound really freaking fun. Like what was the one I took? I took Copy Hackers, 10x your email marketing.
Yeah.
And I just ate that like a snack. I was just
because they're fun.
nom, 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 nom. And I told my client, I was like, I'm loving this. And my client was like, yes, you would love something about how to write, 10 email sequences. And I was just like, nom, 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 eat it up, nom, nom, nom.
No, it's so fun.
Yeah, totally.
So
Well,
fun.
hi, Liz Wilcox. I would love to meet you.
Yeah.
And yes, I will also revive the spreadsheet and I will send it to you, Liz, so you can put it in the show notes.
Yeah, because you guys, I feel like we all need to do inventory of what we're actually buying on the internet. And so, but people really should buy your membership. So I want to talk about the Non-Sleazy Sales Academy, because hell of a good name, by the way. Great branding. I'm all about it. I love this stuff. So I want everybody to tell everybody. So, because it sounds like you really give people things in this membership, because you keep saying this thing, and it's so interesting that sales has a strategy. What? That there's a strategy to sales. What? So can you tell everybody? Yeah. Like, where does sales strategy begin? So you must teach that in the academy, right?
Absolutely. Because it touches, right? It's a relay between your marketing and your branding. So if you were running a major corporation, you would have a marketing department and you would have a sales department, and they would be friends, but they would be like down the hallway from each other. And what happens is we're not passing off that baton in asking. So one of the main things that gets taught to everybody who's in this coaching space, or especially course creators, is discovery calls. Okay, great. We're all supposed to be going out here getting these clarity calls, discovery calls, consultations, whatever you want. But what we teach people to do in the marketing side is how to get people to want to have them. What we don't teach people to do is what to actually say freaking on them so that people want to work with you. And what happens in exchange when you get an overgiver who's obsessed with service, that half-hour clarity call turns into a 90-minute free coaching session that then goes nowhere.
Whoa. And that is like, okay, there's so many nuggets in there, because you're right. There's being an overgiver. I will say on discovery calls, one of my things that I think I do well is I know I'm very chatty, but like I listen a lot. Mm-hmm. Like I don't talk that much until they're like, okay, Liz, now what do you sell that fixes this?
I love that you brought that up, because there is no more powerful sales tool than listening.
Yeah.
And so much of sales strategy is, okay, when you sit on a call that you know is a sales call, this is what happens. You sit down, you open your ears, you put on your seatbelt, and you wait to get word vomited on. You're waiting for the spiel, right?
Yeah.
You expect that they're going to be like, okay, Liz, we got 20 minutes. So right? That's what we expect. And so automatically we're like, I'm going to put up some walls. I'm going to put up some resistance. I'm kind of just going to allow myself to be barked at, and hopefully I'll get a couple questions answered at the end. No. Every single time. Here's a free tip that I want all of you listening to take right now. It will make you money this week. On your next discovery call, I want you to steal my opening line. This call will become a sales call when we agree that we should. But in the meantime, you have questions about me. I have questions about you to make sure that we're the right fit. Do you want to go first, or would you like me to?
Oh, I like that. That's nice.
It puts them
at ease.
Person expecting to be whipped around. Not only does it put them at ease, I've heard it's very disarming in a great way, but it also puts them in control in a place where they don't expect to be driving.
Because they think that you're going to run the show. Yeah.
Yes. And so right at the very beginning, I say, do you want to go first, or do you want me to? If they say, Annie, you go first, then I can go into my spiel, which has a lot of questions in it, so that I could stop and answer and not just chat at them. Right? But a lot of the time they go, thank you so much. I do have questions. And then I sit there and I listen. And then at the end of that call, when both of us have gotten our questions answered, then I can determine with full assurance whether or not I think that we are a good fit. And if we are, I can tell you why, and I can tell you what I can offer you, and I can tell you what it's going to cost you to get that thing.
Okay, this is so good. This is just so good. And so And then this was like really good advice for sales calls, but like in the context of your membership, I just noticed this, and to bring you over there, like, it's not just like a membership that people will join. They actually get to talk to you and ask you things. Like, they actually get some one-on-one support with you.
Heck yeah. I teach for 4 hours every single week. Small group, live coaching, 4 hours
Wow.
every week. You don't have to come for the whole freaking 4 hours. You can come for 15 minutes if you want. You don't have to have a question. You can just hang out. But I know for me, like I said before, the hand holding is what gets people selling. And therefore, it has to be the core of my business. So that's a question I want to put out to all of your listeners. How much hand holding do your clients need for rapid success?
Oh, that is interesting. Because then it makes, when I think about my own clients, I think what makes me different too is I make people actually do things. Like, I'm not just a person that tells you to do something and then waits to see if you do it. Like, I do it with you.
Yeah, that's handheld.
Yeah, because otherwise no one does anything.
The more hand holding, the more money.
Yes.
Right? That's the other thing is that, like, if I used to I offer a program called Sales for Empaths, and I used to have it just as a standalone course with a couple of calls that you could opt into if you wanted to and all of these other things. And because of that, that was cheap, dirt cheap. I mean, my membership is dirt cheap, but this was like dirt cheap for dirt, like so cheap. And it was great and I loved it. But people started asking me questions like, well, could you look at this email for me? And in the course of a course, I can't do that. And I thought, well, if they really are wanting to personalize this, I should up the hand holding. I should make it a membership and I should teach live with the curriculum base. I don't have to teach the curriculum, but I can personalize and implement things with people like you were just talking about. That's more hand holding. The price for that is going to have to go up. Or if you work with me one-on-one, like I said, secret menu, that's completely handheld. The price on that's going to be premium, right? So for me, it's always how much handholding do they need to get results? And more handholding equals more fee.
You should have a page on your site. Like, it's all like, that's like creepy and hidden at the bottom. And it should be like, want to see our secret menu? Right? And then like people are like, oh my God, yes. Yes, like, but I mean, I'm sure you don't need to sell more of your secret menu because you it's not there, but I'm like, imagine how fun that would be.
I mean, now I just have to do it.
Like, I just want to see. I just feel like it'd be so cute.
I won't even put it on the bottom. I'll put it up at the top.
Be like, it's like, yeah. Cause I'm like, because the Starbucks secret menu, you have to like Google news articles to find the secret menu. Like it's not written down. And I'm like, I think it should just be like, it should be somewhere.
Yeah, it should be in the bathroom.
Yeah, like carved into the wall.
Like the gun in The Godfather. Like it should be like up behind the toilet tank in the bathroom that you're like, I found the secret menu.
Why isn't it? I mean, because then people would touch it in the bathroom. Is that why?
I guess maybe that's.
But like this just kills me. Annie, you have been so awesome. Tell everybody how they can find you online because this has just been so good talking to you.
Liz, I could talk to you for years and years.
I know.
First things first, I have a podcast with you on it.
I know. It's so good.
It's so good. It is coming out on Monday, the 13th of September. So like just a few short days away. When you're listening to this, it's probably already out. It's called Too Legitimate to Quit. Go hunt down my episode with Liz. It is a absolute freaking joy. And listen, if you are in active sales avoidance, if you're in a learning mode, I want you to go to my website, AnniePRuggles.com. And I want you to soak up as much as you can. But if you are in active sales avoidance, if you have a call or an email or a networking event coming up that scares you and you are shaking in your boots, I don't want you to go to my website. I want you to reach out to me directly in a way that I can coach you in the moment for free. And the way to do that is to reach out to me on Instagram, where I'm at Anniepreneur, ANNIEPRENEUR, or on LinkedIn, where you can just search for my name. Send me a message. Let me show you how beautiful selling can be.
Oh my gosh. I love you awful. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I love you awful times 2.
Thanks so much for listening today. Be sure to subscribe and listen again later. Tell your friends, leave a review, because all of that helps me do all of this. For show notes and more information, check out lizteresa.com/podcast.